We're gonna resume with item number 18. If y'all could all please be seated. Gonna take appropriate action on RZ-0518-0069, a request by 9 Oaks to rezone from single-family residential R1 to multifamily residential to allow residential development, 24 duplexes and 8 fourplexes at 851 East Prien Lake, East Tank Farm Road, in Ward 3. I'll entertain a motion for approval with conditions.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Navarre, second by Ms. Cobb. Ms. Christie.
Close.
Oh,
I
I'm
sit
sorry.
next to Miss
Ms.
Christie.
Wallace. One of y'all speak to us, please.
This property is,
Hey, I'm Miss Hyatt.
Are we ready to vote already?
You're doing a great job.
One of y'all speak.
this property is located southeast of Lake Charles and encompasses 13 acres of land. In 2016, the land was rezoned from agricultural to the current zoning to allow development of a 21-lot subdivision. The subdivision was not developed. At this time, the applicant is requesting rezoning to allow the construction of 80 multifamily units. The 24 duplexes will be single-story brick structures, while the 8 fourplexes will be 2 stories, also with brick exteriors. 48 of the units will have 2 bedrooms. The remaining 32 units will have 3 bedrooms. We have received 3 letters in opposition to this request. Because the proposed development is out of character with the area, the staff recommends the request be denied. Should the board grant the request, the staff recommends the following conditions: that the development adhere to the site plan, provided that the director may authorize adjustments, that all exterior lighting must be oriented inward toward the development, that screening must be provided on the north, south, east, and west property lines of the development in accordance with section 2650 of the parish code prior to any final electrical approval, and that a runoff management plan will be required unless appropriate waiver is granted by Division of Engineering.
Thank you, Ms. Wallace. Does the applicant have anything to add to the staff's presentation? Please state your name and address, please.
Chad Sarver, 3899 Jasmine Boulevard, Lake Charles.
Thank you.
Not used to public speaking, so just bear with me, please. We would like to, Mayor, I'd like to pass something out because I think there's an idea that we're gonna put low-end rental housing on this property, and we're not. We plan on developing, just like they had said, 80 high-end, middle to high-end rental units on this property. The opposition we've got, I think a lot of people are concerned that it's going to end up being government housing, Section 8 and whatnot. That's what exactly what we're trying to avoid. We plan on making it a gated community at some point. We have we've done all our homework, so we feel like this would really add to the property values of the area, you know. So that's pretty much what I have. Pictures.
Very good.
It's going to be, sir?
Very good pictures.
Yeah, it is. We built these before. So, and what you showed up there was the fourplexes, because we do have some fourplexes and we have more duplexes and fourplexes. But this is a better idea of what it's going to look like with the duplexes. So more like townhomes, I guess.
Would it conform to the residents already?
I believe it does.
It does.
Am I correct?
What's the question?
Hey, this development, would it conform to the residents that's already there?
Well, the property is vacant right now.
Well,
You mean
vacant.
in the surrounding area?
Oh, yeah, the surrounding area.
Most of the surrounding area is single-family residential
And or empty land.
Oh,
or
okay.
vacant land.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Any other questions or concerns from the board?
Denied.
Comments?
I would like to say one more thing. We did run a 12-inch city water line all the way down to the property. So we provided a lot of city water for a lot of people down there if they wanted to attach into it. So
Thank you for your presentation.
thank you.
We ought
We
to
have,
be on number 18, man.
What's that?
We on number 18. man.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to, well, why did the
Well, we
staff,
have-
the staff denied it in his vacant property.
He wants to know,
Yeah, I see that the staff recommended that it be denied.
Right.
On what grounds, if it's,
Well, it's not consistent with the existing land use pattern in that
Oh,
area.
okay.
Because the surrounding area is predominantly single-family residential in terms of the units. Now, there is vacant land too around it, but the units, the pattern is mostly single-family detached units.
okay, that's what I got lost, I thought it was all vacant.
Okay, we have 2 blue cards. We'd like to hear from Mr. Ron Bell, am I right? You'll have to forgive me on, state your name and address, please.
Okay, my name's Ron Bartek, and I live at 7601 Green Meadow. It's just up the road from this area. And kind of got to doing some looking at it. You know, they put all the work in there. It looked like it was going to be some nice stuff going in, probably some houses. Then we saw that they wanted to put a whole bunch of duplexes, and started kind of counting. I mean, you're talking 80 units. That's like the area where it's going, they want to put it is not very big if you look at it. I mean, on the map it looks big, but it looks fairly small if you drive by it. And just the amount of people that would be in the area and the traffic, the extra cars. I mean, if everybody had 2 cars, you're talking about 160 cars on one little road. It's not very big. There's already a tremendous amount of extra traffic from the trailer park down the Gulf Highway, and they're adding on to that too. And, you know, in the morning, trying to get up, go to work, you know, 160 cars coming out of this one little development. I mean, it's just seems way out of touch for what's in the area and the roads. I mean, probably end up having to get traffic lights put in at Gulf Highway. I mean, it's just seems like it would cause way more trouble for everybody in the area with the amount of people that they want to put in this section. You know, I was looking forward to seeing just single-family houses going in, and that's what they had it zoned for. But that's probably not the plan from the beginning. They, you know, now they're going back and want to put 80 units in. So, that's, okay, thank you.
Mr. Shane Malin? State your name and address, please.
Shane Malin, Lake Charles, Louisiana, 7511 Green Meadow Road. This property, if done this way, opens the door for the property just north of mine. It's a vacant lot. So if he puts duplexes on this, what's going to stop him from just down the street putting a duplex north of my house? Okay, that drops my property down and everybody around me. I have 2 kids. My mom and dad live right across the street, and my sister just bought a house on our street. That's going to affect us. What happens to the cattle property and vacant land if this happens? What is allowed? Does it open the door for residential property or trailer park, duplexes, whatever? Drainage, talked about that. Has anybody been down there when it floods? That coulee, once it floods, you can't drive over it. It's also blocked towards Tom Abear. It floods, it blocks. And y'all won't, I can't see it. It hurt me and my family. My mom, my dad, all my neighbors. Nobody would want this. Single family homes next to 80 duplexes, like you said, all them cars, traffic. Nobody would want that. Just put yourself in my shoes. The property right north of me, vacant lot. If this passes, can you put a duplex on it?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would the applicant like to come back up and speak?
Mr. Chairman, my name is David Minton, 4310 Ryan Street, Lake Charles, Louisiana. I'm with Cypress Engineering. We're the firm that was hired to prepare the application and handle all the civil utility design work proposed with this project. Just to touch on a couple top points for you with regards to the increased traffic being a concern. The proposed development with the 80 units, we're not here today requesting a variance for units above and beyond what the ordinance allows for this particular zone. What they're requesting for meets or is within the requirements of the zoning. So the units per acre, that ratio that the ordinance allows for, is what is being requested. Today is simply a request to rezone the property. So with regards to the traffic, the proposed development does not exceed the traffic requirements to complete a traffic study for Calcasieu Parish to get those permits. So there is a standard. We do not exceed that. We will be below that. And with regards to drainage, again, with the passing of the new drainage ordinance, which enacted June 1st, June 1 of this year, initially this was designed and actually built as a single-family residential subdivision with 22 lots. There's a detention pond in the back, which meets the old drainage standard requirements. By construction of that, it actually improved drainage within this whole area. By coming to you today to rezone this property, they're going to have to increase the standards that they have on their drainage already to meet the new drainage ordinance standards, therefore further improving drainage in the area. So they asked me to speak tonight about the few technical issues. Mr. Frick's going to come and address a few other items for you as well.
How you doing? I'm Troy Frick, 835 East Tank Farm Road. The property in question is pretty much my backyard. First, I live slap dab where the proposed development is. Spent a lot of money on the drainage. The Acadian Drive next to us to the east, and the other property had about 1 week of residence time in their ditches when I gave them a lateral coming into our drainage system, into our detention pond. It serves no residence time. I go down there the next day, it's empty. The gentleman in question south of me, their Hippolyte Ditch separates us, so I don't know how I can extend across Hippolyte Ditch unless I built the bridge. I invested right in the front in the oak trees. I built a 6,000 square foot brand new home, been in it 4 months. It's a beautiful upscale home on the front 2 acres, which by far brought up all property values from where they are. Second, there's a shell road running north and south directly across the street from my home that has several rental trailers, along with preferable trailer homes fronting tank farm. Third, this will be a gated with cameras, fenced-in upscale townhome community in my backyard where I live, on my private road, which will be gated and lit up like Wrigley Field. Fourth, I extended a 12-inch city water line with fire protection to East Lake Charles from the airport to my property. There's a tie-in point to head on east. Fifth, there are trailers all around. We will put upscale, beautiful townhomes, not duplexes. This clarifies what letters are concerned about. I'm just trying to make clarifications. We have improved drainage around Acadian. The other, I forgot the name of the street this gentleman was talking about where he lives. I live there. I ride around during the rains. Everything will look like single-family homes, and there are mobile homes across the street and all around me. There's one house kind of similar to mine right next door to mine. The cattle property is across Hippolyte Ditch, which is south of my property. That's pretty much all I got. I just wanted to clarify the 3 letters that I was made aware of by email.
And we thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions or comments by the board? Seeing none, we'll call for a roll call vote. Ms. Christie?
Ms. Dickerson?
No.
Mr. Porsche?
No.
Mr. Williams?
No.
Mr. Smith?
No.
Ms. Cobb?
No.
Mr. Navarre,
Yes.
Ms. Hyatt,
No.
Ms. Galicia,
Yes.
2 for and 6 against.
Motion fails. Item number 19, take appropriate action on RZ-0518-0070, a request by Great Southern Group to rezone from light commercial C1 to light industrial I1 to allow industrial development, contractor shop and storage yard at 3227 South Douglas Parkway in Ward 4. I'll entertain a motion for approval with conditions. Motion by Mr. Porsche, second by Ms. Cobb. Ms. Wallace.
This property is located south of Sulphur and encompasses a half acre of land. The applicants are planning to construct an office building on the abutting lot at the corner of Red Rose and Highway 27. They plan to utilize this land for hard surface parking to be used by the employees and customers of the neighboring office. Prior to constructing the parking lot, the applicants plan to demolish the existing home currently on the property. We have received one letter in opposition to this request. I apologize, 2 letters. Because the proposed zoning is consistent with the area, the staff recommends that the request be granted with the following conditions: that the development adhere to the site plan on file, provided the director may authorize adjustments, that all exterior lighting must be oriented inward, that a 6-foot wooden privacy fence be installed on the north and west property lines of the development in accordance with section 2650 of the Parish Code of Ordinances, with said fencing to be installed prior to final electrical approval of building being constructed on a budding lot, and that a runoff management plan will be required unless appropriate waiver is granted by the Division of Engineering.
Thank you.
Oh,
We're supposed to be on.
I was wondering why they kept talking behind me. I apologize.
We're trying to get your attention.
It's all because I was picking on you for not saying my name right.
Yeah.
Did I
Okay.
say it wrong again?
No.
Oh,
Okay, let me go to the right property. This property is located south of Sulphur and encompasses over 4 acres of land. If the rezoning is approved, the applicant will sell the land to a developer who will construct a 15,000 square foot office warehouse building. Upon completion, the building will be leased to an industrial sales company. We have not received any written opposition to this request. Because the proposed zoning is consistent with the zoning of the area, the staff recommends the request be granted with the following conditions: that the development adhere to the site plan on file, that all exterior lighting must be oriented inward, that screening must be installed on the east property line in accordance with section 2650 of the Parish Code prior to final electrical approval, that a runoff management plan will be required unless waiver is granted by engineering, and that permitting is subject to approval of DOTD.
thank you. I will entertain them, oh, we did that. Will the applicant like to add anything to the staff's recommendation or presentation? You good right now? Seeing no blue cards, do we have any questions or comments by the board? Seeing none, we'll call for vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Item number 20, right?
I've got it right this time.
Take appropriate action on RZ-0518-0071, a request by Savoy Investments to rezone from mixed residential R2 to general commercial C2 to allow commercial development parking lot at 125 Red Rose Drive in Ward 4. I'll entertain a motion for approval with conditions.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Navarre and second by Ms. Dickerson. Ms. Wallace.
I'll just edit it for the people that were busy thinking she's doing the wrong one instead of paying attention to what I was saying. So, this property is south of Sulphur. The petitioners plan to construct an office building on the corner of Red Rose and Highway 27, and they would like to demolish the house that's currently on the property to the west, which, as you can see, then they will construct a hard surface parking lot to serve as overflow for the abutting building. and the staff does recommend that the request be granted with the usual stipulations, but I want to point out that, that a 6-foot wooden privacy fence be installed on the north and west property lines of the development in accordance with section 2650 of the parish code, with fencing installed prior to final electrical approval. And that is it.
Thank you. Does the applicant have anything to add to the staff's presentation?
Clay Savoy, 4928 South Prion Lake Road, Lake Charles, Louisiana. First off, I want to thank the board for putting us after the mega project proposal. We got to learn a lot about the parish, so thank you for that. And I mean that with all due respect. So with this being said, I'm also the Chief Executive Officer of Versa Integrity Group. It's the business that's directly east of this property on a 3.2 acre site that currently employs 250 to 300 people at any given time to the local area. We're involved with a lot of the current expansion that's going on in the industrial space. And I've fought for a long time with my other investors to locate our corporate headquarters building in the Lake Charles Sulphur area. I got my way last year. I was able to purchase this property and the property behind it to build our corporate headquarters building, which is a plus or minus 10,000 square foot office only building. I have some renderings if anybody would like to see them. They are consistent, if not above, the other commercial buildings that are located directly to the north and south of that building. During the planning for this building, I knew the landowner of the current property that's under discussion. I had the opportunity to buy it for overflow parking for our building only. We have performed a drainage study that includes this piece of property to ensure we do not affect any of the residences around it. We agreed to the board's recommendation to build a privacy fence around it, and will not be intrusive into the neighborhood. We're simply asking for this variance, and I'll be available for any question that may come from it.
Thank you. We have no blue cards. Do we have any questions or comments by the board?
I have 2 opposition letters.
2 opposition letters, yes. No questions or comments? Have a roll call vote. Ms. Christie?
Mr. Porsche,
Yes.
Mr. Navarre,
Yes.
Ms. Galicia,
Yes.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Dickerson,
Yes.
Ms. Cobb,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Hyatt,
Yes.
8-4.
Motion carries. Item number 21. The next item on the agenda is to advise that the police jury took the following action on May 24th, 2018 with reference to the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Board from May 22nd, 2018 meeting. J&A Investments, Markle Blue Road, police jury approved, Planning and Zoning approved, police jury upheld. Redbourne, Smith Ferry Road, Planning and Zoning denied, withdrawn prior to police jury meeting. Stephen Shirley, Highway 27 South, Planning and Zoning approved, police jury upheld. ECO Enterprises, North Perkins Ferry Road, Planning and Zoning approved, police jury overturned. Cross Diversified, North Perkins Ferry Road, police jury approved, Planning and Zoning approved, and police jury upheld. Item number 22, the next item on the agenda is to advise that the next regularly scheduled Planning and Zoning meeting will be held on Tuesday, July 17th in the police jury meeting room. I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Ms.
I think we ought to
Dickinson,
vote on it.
second by Ms. Cobb.
Roll call. Roll call. Let's have a roll
Meeting
call.
adjourned. Roll call vote.
Don't you